Before you show me the tape, can you tell me what your work has involved?
Sure. What we've been involved with has been a research study designed to focus in on parents who could have serious problems in attaching to their children from the beginning. One key aspect that we've been really tuning into has been the assessment of attachment. And to study this, we've gone into the delivery room with videotape, taping reactions to children right there, and also taping the first feedings.
Did the parents sign a consent form?
Yes, they all did.
Is this the only thing you're looking at?
No. As a matter of fact, we've been looking at a lot of other things. How the parents themselves were raised, or in other words, what their own background has been. Also, the kinds of expectations that they might have for this new baby. And when they go home and there are problems or they get into trouble, do they have someone that they can call, that they can rely on to get some help? Or are they totally isolated? And then what we do is we put all of that information together and try to come up with some sort of a picture about what kinds of problems might create a potentially dangerous situation for the baby.
Out of 150 tapes, we have selected 7 that we'll show you. The first 2, the husbands are present in the delivery room, and those mothers have had previous children. The next 4, all of the mothers are young and unwed. And then the last one is a young married mother having her first child. What is going to be important, though, is not only to pay attention to what the mother says, but to also pay attention to the comments made to her.
You see the baby's head there?
Oh, yes.
See? Okay. Don't push. I'll try and do the rest here for you.
Oh, no, I push.
Don't push. Don't push now. You don't have to. You don't have to. We want to take things slow.
Okay.
That's very nice.
All right.
Oh.
What did you want?
A boy?
You got it.
Oh.
Here is a very loving and supportive relationship between mother and father. It has been particularly exciting for them to have a boy with 3 girls at home.
Oh, too, Matt.
Dark hair, honey.
The parents react to the baby's crying with smiles and laughter.
Poor guy, he was.
I waited so long for this.
Once Debbie is given the baby, she holds him very close and positions herself so that she can look into his eyes.
She won't even know that she's busy.
I just don't want her to jump. She's holding the baby.
I see his little arms. I gotta see more than just his face. Oh. Look at those fingers. Did you see that? See? Oh. Gigantic feet. Foot you have. Yeah. Big kid.
Debbie is very curious about what the baby looks like and expresses a desire to see more than just his face. She checks the fingers and toes, making sure that everything is there.
This side over here.
Sure. Oh, he looks like he's gotta have light hair.
Like yours. Take him over, okay? Okay. Is there anybody in the waiting room or to
No,
see the
no,
baby? Okay.
After all these hours, are you kidding?
I'm still here.
Don't take you away, but I guess I better give you a bath.
Well, the main thing is, making sure that the baby stays warm.
Yeah.
They don't have a very good temperature.
You will notice that the baby's head is carefully supported by the mother as the baby is handed to the father.
What's Dad? Oh, okay, Dad. Here, Daddy. Why don't you get good hold? Why don't you? Yeah.
You were.
I would say that, maybe you're right.
What? He looks like you. He does.
It's terrible.
Looks like you.
Could wish that on anybody.
Good morning to you. You can open your eyes for me? Huh? You can open your eyes? Good. Oh, you're so good. So good. Come on. Come on. You're going to eat you now. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah, how about that?
There we go. Yeah. So you're just too fat. You don't need anything. You don't need any food.
He says I have to lose weight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Oh, goodness. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah.
Debbie is 28 and is very comfortable with her new baby. Some of the signs which would indicate a positive attachment are her talking and cooing to the baby, her sheer delight in touching the baby, and the undivided attention she gives to his needs.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
He didn't like this.
Listen, girl, it's not, we're only halfway out. I haven't seen the bottom half.
Real easy. Just take that slow.
Oh, good. Is that what you wanted? Yeah, she's a girl. She's a nice baby, though. How big is she? Well, I don't know, but she looks like more than 6.5 pounds, I'll tell you that.
Oh, she is a biggie.
645, 45, 46. Okay, 547, that sound okay? You did a really nice job.
I thought you was with trouble.
No, you didn't cause us any trouble. You did just fine.
You did fine. You okay now? Okay. Now we gotta get the afterbirth out, Helen. And so this will hurt a little bit too, but not near as much as that did, okay?
Can you see her? A little bit?
We're getting there. Steve?
Even though Eileen's husband is present, he seems to offer little support to her, and there is very little communication between the two. Eye contact with the infant is avoided, and at this point, Eileen displays little curiosity toward her new baby. Throughout delivery and the stay in the hospital, Eileen appeared apathetic and took no active part in establishing an interest in her infant.
Try to remember, huh?
Her hair was, I think she should have more hair in front. It was real black. Now she's got medium brown. She's got her eyes stay blue. They got real light blue.
hurting a little bit?
This is the mother's third child. Her first was relinquished. Eileen presents a picture of a very isolated and frightened young mother. This couple had expressed the fact that they didn't like people and didn't socialize. The parents also stated that this child essentially was unplanned and unwanted, mainly due to financial pressures.
Which side? Okay. There you go. There she goes. Oh, there was already one in here. Now we have two. That one's not open.
Take it. Yeah.
Eileen displays the mechanics of feeding. However, there is no exploring, cuddling, or attempt to stimulate the baby, verbally or otherwise. The child was left alone in the crib most of the time. The baby's first cry is responded to with a smile.
Little girl. Listen to her.
I can't tell if she's got red hair, but I think she probably does.
I'm probably pretty close to it.
9'9".
She's got a little bit of reddish blonde hair right around the edges.
When handed the baby, this young unwed mother spontaneously reaches out to take her, positioning herself so as to have direct eye contact. She asks the nurse about a mark on the baby's face, checks the fingers, and watches attentively as the nurse carries her child to the nursery. This is her first baby.
Okay. I'm going to take her over to the nursery now, okay? Okay.
Keep your hands down. You don't want to-
The young mother here remained stoic and passive throughout labor and delivery. She wanted very much to have her first child a boy and had been planning for a long time to breastfeed him.
Got a little girl.
Oh, no.
Got a little girl. Wanna see her?
Yeah, let me see.
See? She's all messy looking. All messy looking. Got all kinds of stuff on her.
Sharon, did you want to say you wanted the breast or bottle feed?
Bottle feed.
And rooming in or the ward?
And,
Pardon me?
and.
Cheryl is unwed and had just been released from a prison term for heroin possession and addiction. She wanted to become pregnant in order to rehabilitate herself, indicating some very high expectations that might be placed on this baby.
Girl, Sharon? She'll look much nicer after she's had her first bath, but they don't usually give that for a couple of hours. She's got lots of hair. She's a fine-looking baby. You just don't want to cry much. Ah, we'll take her to...
Start crying.
Well, We'll take her to the nursery and they'll weigh her and we'll let you know when we find out how much she
Keep your
weighs.
hands down, Sharon.
Don't want you to get too cold, little girl.
He has his shoulders.
Get the baby delivered. Hand down the side, down the back. Slip them on in.
Here's a boy.
It's a boy.
My mama said it was a boy.
Good.
Is that what you wanted?
57, all right?
What'd you want? A girl?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes.
There's a little superficial laceration there.
That's an ugly baby.
Oh, he's cute.
Bleeding or anything, there's no reason. So another one over the other side, I think it's over the spine.
What's wrong with his mouth?
What's the matter with his mouth?
Right there next
Just
to the
got
little
goo
thing,
on
yeah.
it.
No reason to sew it.
Might have a little blister there.
Those are
Sometimes
first
they're
degree.
born with that.
I'll use 2 towels, I can help a little bit.
You have a big mouth, huh?
Well, we'll wait and see what he looks like in a day or two. Their heads get kind of pushed out of shape on the way out sometimes, and they'll get better looking in a day or two. What do you think?
Prolapse down, doesn't it?
What you crying for?
Just getting his breath.
You don't look like me.
Looks like a baby. You want to see to make sure it's a boy? No, look over here. You don't need to watch that. It's no fun watching them sew you up.
They sewing me up.
They will be in a minute.
Not that you couldn't do it.
Okay?
It's kind of ugly, huh?
No, I think he's cute. You want to hold him? You have to eventually.
Not now.
Okay. You don't think that's a cute boy? Okay.
You're sure expecting them, huh?
Okay, I'm gonna go take him in and warm him up, okay?
Clean them up.
Yep, clean him up. Watch it, watch it.
Then you bring him back.
The remarks we have just heard from Gail could be interpreted as a negative response to her child. However, this could be an understandable reaction in her situation, as Gail is unwed and this is her first baby. But whenever there is a question about the mother's feelings toward her child, it is important to have supportive follow-up. During the first feeding, Gail seems to relax and start to accept her new role as a mother. This is a good example of the fact that maternal attachment is not always instantaneous.
I got some lotion down there. How far are you supposed to drink it down to the what?
Sort of gently. Get out of his mouth. I can see. Why don't you hold him up and burp him? He's so sweet.
Like a little fish.
A little fish?
Now we can see the beginnings of an active involvement between Gail and her baby as she watches, touches, and responds to him.
Like a little fish. Is that it?
You can do it that way, and then there's another way where you can, where you can sit him on your lap and hold him up and hold him up like this. You know, get him sort of straight and put your hand right there. Cup your hand really gently in front of his mouth like that. Sit him up and just sort of rub his back. You know, hold his head up. Sort of rub his back. That's good to do too. If you're sitting down, sometimes it's a little hard to lift him up and put him over your shoulder.
Tiny as it is.
Yeah. He's tiny. Just hold him like that. Rub his back. You gonna burp, huh? No, he's just gonna fall asleep right in our hands, isn't he?
Baby, huh?
They do that. All they do is sleep and eat when they're this young.
We're good now.
So,
Okay, you can use this hand if you want to. Just don't put it on top of the sheet there, okay?
Too bad you didn't move for us.
I'd be hungry.
The nurse releases Diane's arm to allow her freedom to touch and examine her baby, but Diane seems extremely hesitant to do so.
Never been down for wherever I do before. Really a bad for this. Little monkey. He looks so much like his father at second.
Huh?
I said he looks so much like his father at second. He looked like an ape. I told David he looked like an ape.
Do you still see the father, or
No, I grew up with him.
broke up with, does he know you're pregnant, or?
Diane has just expressed her feeling that the baby looks so much like his father it's sickening, that he looks like an ape. This baby is her second child and is of mixed racial background. She lost custody of her first after she was found to have battered him.
you're doing beautifully. Doing just beautiful. Jerry, look at the other way.
What?
Linda's husband offered no support to her in the labor room and refused to go into the delivery room with her.
Did you come down further? Okay, next a few turns.
Yeah, little boy.
Ooh, yeah. Sounds good. All right.
I don't know what.
You what?
What is it?
The doctor's still holding it.
What is it? It's a boy.
It's a boy.
I don't know what is it. What?
You what?
I don't even want it.
Better keep them away. Okay.
Is that what you wanted?
I want a girl.
Alone, frightened, and disappointed about having a boy, Linda's only response is to cry.
Give me names for the boy.
Linda? There's your little boy. He's noisy.
Where a mother's response has been positive, the comments that this nurse makes to Linda regarding her baby would be appropriate. However, in Linda's situation, these comments might have a much different effect.
You want to hold him? What? He's a small one. You'd like to hold him?
Chicken's so good, no.
Well, what I can do is I'll just put him here in your arm, but I'll stand here right beside you so that you don't have to be afraid of dropping him or anything. He just stuck his tongue out at you.
Do you have a name, Big Scout?
Roger Allen.
What's the matter, Roger? Don't you like your name? He's a cute baby. You tell her your bladder works good and your lungs work good. Yeah, your lungs really do work well. Ooh. He just has to examine you to make sure you didn't hurt yourself inside at all. It won't take very long.
He's in pain.
Okay, we'll take you and show your daddy. Yeah. Aw, poor baby. Poor baby. Aw.
It's so blue.
He was sitting out there with his whole fist in his mouth.
There's anything wrong with him?
Huh?
He looks so blue. Oh, goodness.
Linda, it always takes a... It always takes a little longer for his hands to, to pink up, because these are the last things that the blood supply is exchanged.
Such a big yawn. I think you were yawning anyway.
Yeah.
Brian said tiny. It's more.
Says, but I'm healthy.
Yeah, I wish Daddy was here.
Daddy, I'll get to see plenty of them.
I think I saw blue eyes. I'm not sure, but I think so.
Yeah, they'll be dark blue. They might stay that way.
Dark blue. Where does dark blue come in at?
All babies
My
have dark.
husband's got brown. I got green.
Oh. All babies have dark.
Beats me where he gets the blue eyes, but I can see where he gets the dark hair.
Does he look the way you expected him to?
He resembles Larry.
He does, or he doesn't? He does?
He resembles my husband a lot.
He does.
My husband said he looks like me. I said, that poor kid. Looking like me. Poor kid.
The statement Linda repeats, looking like me, poor kid, is only one of many comments which seem to reflect Linda's low self-esteem. She does not find in her baby anything which she values in herself. Linda's inability to really attach to her baby, her depression, the fact that Linda had never really been mothered herself, her husband's hostility and lack of support, altogether placed her child in what could be a life-threatening situation, one which became very real only 3 weeks later. The parents were extremely frustrated with the baby's crying, and upon the arrival of a supportive public health nurse, the husband handed her the child, threatening to harm him if she did not take the baby away. This baby was very fortunate. With close follow-up, These parents were able to give him up before resorting to physical abuse.